bit distracting putting it on to Facebook. All right, so thank you so much for joining me, guys. Um, so tonight I wanted to talk a bit about mental health and how we can support ourselves and our loved ones naturally, not only with the essential oils, but also with some other tools that I've learned along the way in the journey. Doing yoga teacher training, a bit of yoga teaching, and same with personal training. And look, there's nothing better than life experience, and throwing in two kids in the mix. As you guys know, these little munchkins are our best teachers. But for me, uh, it all started when I was working in IT. I was working long hours. I was stressed and depressed and suffering from insomnia. And we were actually introduced to the oils because of Renee's digestive issues. And it all started with peppermint, which is one of my daily favorites still to this day. And that helped her with her irritable bowel syndrome, or manage the symptoms of irritable bowel syndrome. And it wasn't the cure. And I'm just gonna, straight up right now on our first slide say, I'm not here to treat, diagnose, prevent, or cure anything. Insert disclaimer here, please, because it's a holistic approach. The oils are really powerful natural medicines, but we need to look at health at a holistic approach and look at all aspects of life, our thoughts, our diet, our environment, which I really want to focus on today, as well as the oils and how they can be a powerful tool in that process. So why am I so passionate about mental health? Well, it's been a bit of a part of my life, especially with this guy here, this man who I love, in the middle of the picture, my dad, who is my absolute hero. And I grew up with stars in my eyes, and he's just an extreme dude. And I guess there's a little bit of a dark side to that, in that he had a 5-way heart bypass when he was a little over 40 years old, and I was at the tender age of 15, 16 years age.
Wow.
And it rocked my world. It was, this guy who is a superstar and invincible. Um, he seemed very human very soon, and it not only knocked myself around, but also himself as well. Going from this guy who is just capable of anything he set out to do and achieve, um, and then just having an open heart surgery, 5-way heart bypass, and really having to put the brakes on. So as a result of that, he really experienced some dark times, and I was able to help him as much as possible as I could at quite a young age. But it was a bit scary. It was very scary for me. So it's something that I am passionate about teaching about others, and especially men, and even more so during these times of high stress and uncertainty, and how we can overcome that. So emotional health, this is something that I was introduced to when I came into doTERRA. I thought I was super healthy, and I used to go to the gym and work out and surf and swim and do all of those things, and I was physically really fit. But my awareness around emotional health was zero to none. And I would still get sick. I'd get sick usually as a result of high stress, and I would experience psoriasis and other things like that, and it was all due to stress. Um, so there's a couple of stats here, and this is more, once again, focused on men, and a couple of stats around men. And I'm sure these stats have gone up drastically in the last year or so, especially with depression, anxiety, and suicide. These far outweigh the national road toll, not to mention other things that we seem to be hiding from at present. And we're going to cover a bit of that later on through this presentation. So just wanted to touch real quick on my health priorities and what I teach people in order of priority. And something that we really forget about quite often is breath. And the reason why breath is number one priority is because if we don't breathe, we die. Um, and then the next one is rest and stress management, which I believe is the true epidemic of the world today. And not just now with the flavor of the month being, or the last 6 months being, epidemic, pandemic. But this, I feel, over the last 10 to 20 years has really been the cause of a lot of our chronic health conditions and state of health at a global level. And then, of course, water. This is essential for life. We're going to dive into that a little bit more. Your environment. And I want to spend most of our time here because we haven't really spoken about this as much in the past. And I have always been passionate about Bruce Lipton's work and epigenetics, but I want to dive into that a little bit more tonight. And then I've got diet. So I've listed that as number 5 because quite often some people think, health priorities, the first thing you got to prioritize is diet. Well, yeah, it is important, but it's not the first thing. It's not the most important thing when it comes to health priorities, as far as I'm concerned. So let's dive into breath. And I wanted to share with you guys a technique that I've been doing as more of late, and that's the Wim Hof method. And there's a bit of a buzz going around with the Wim Hof method. There's an app that you can get on your phone, and you can do the guided breathing bubble. You can see that on the right-hand side of your screen there. And basically, you are just oxygenating your body at a very, very high level, and you're breathing in fully, breathing out fully. And you're doing that for a minute, and then you do a breath hold. As well as oxygenating your body, it's a really good opportunity to let go of thought and feel into the body, get out of your head and relax and calm the nervous system, connect to body consciousness. And it's a form of meditation as well. What I like to do in combination with this Wim Hof method practice is apply either or both. Apply 2 to 3 drops of easy air on the chest. And you can do that with fractionated coconut oil, I recommend, and a drop of peppermint on the tongue. So that's the way that I like to increase my capacity, my lung capacity. And this is actually scientifically proven. The Broncos used it back in the days when they were winning premierships, and it's been scientifically proven that peppermint, it does improve your cardiovascular performance and ability. So next time you're feeling in a bit of a slump, and you find yourself, you're reaching for the coffee, and it might be, your second, third coffee for the day, I encourage you to maybe do a bit of Wim Hof breath and reach for the bottle of peppermint, put a drop in your tongue, and inhale some easy air or peppermint from the palm of your hands, and just get really oxygenated, get the blood pumping through the body, and you just feel so alive, so clear, so pumped. It's actually a really good thing to do before you go do anything scary or maybe confronting or challenging. It just invigorates the mind and makes you feel amazing. So I can't I encourage you enough to go and get the app and give this a go. It's really, really cool. And aside from the Wim Hof method, of course, there's pranayama. And then and pranayama just being yoga breathing techniques. And you can do square breath. You can do anumbalum, which is like holding your nose and breathing in through one side of the nose and out through the other, counting your breath. You can just breathe in through your nose and out through your nose, counting to 5, and really connecting to the sensation of the breath. And that will just immediately calm the nervous system and give you a a really good, what we call in yoga, dristi, or anchor point for anchoring in with the sensation of the breath in coming in through the nose, rather than all the thoughts that are going through your head. Because remember, we're creating the stress. The definition of stress is the inability to handle the constant fluctuations of life. And when you think of it that way, then we take the responsibility back, right? It's all about self-empowerment. We're empowering ourselves with that philosophy. When we feel ourselves stressing out about a situation, it's like, hey, I've got a choice here. I can connect to breath, let go of those thoughts that are plaguing my mind. And for me, in the last 3 months, it was like, I just want to get home. I want to get home. I want to find a way home. And I found myself going into this spiral of thoughts, centered around just wanting to get home, but it wasn't getting me anywhere. And I had to just completely surrender and let go. So I want to talk a bit about rest and stress management as well, because like I said, I believe that this, and I've been saying this for the last probably 6 years, when I actually started to realize, getting involved with doTERRA and starting to help people and really find out what the root cause is of a lot of chronic health conditions, and it's stress. And we're doing it to ourselves. Sometimes we just got to, as I said before, just let go, surrender, go downstream, stop paddling upstream and making life so hard. But the facts are, and this is some information that's been recently shared by Dr. Hill, one of the founding executives of doTERRA, is we all experience stress differently. Of course we do, especially when it's an accumulative stress and something that's been bugging us for a while. It could be a person or a place or an experience, and when it comes to surface, then it's a trigger, and we go into that stress, that state of fight or flight or stress a whole lot easier when it comes to surface. So stress is stress no matter what size. Let's remember that. The biggest thing, most important thing that I feel that you can do to help balance out rest and stress is just to get amazing sleep. Says me, who is transitioning a 16-month-old baby from breastfeeding at night to not breastfeeding at night. And when I say me, it's Renee and I, my wife and I. But we had the idea and working together on this, that Dylan, our little 16-month-old, he just has the boob way too accessible. It's right beside him. We all co-sleep in the one bed, one big king, super king mattress on the ground. We're all in one bed, all four of us. And we love it. It's really, really cool. But we also love our sleep as well. And just having the boob so readily available, it has really been an implication for good, deep, restful sleep, especially for Renee. And I've got a little munchkin in the background here who's just had a bath. So, Andy, you going to say hello? You've come in. You may as well say hello. She's lost for words. This is my nearly 4-year-old Indy. Look, there's Robin. And there's Amy. You say hello?
Hi, Indy.
She's gone all shy. So getting amazing sleep and getting off technology, I found that was another thing, a reminder for me whilst I was away. I was just trying to distract myself and being on technology too much late at night. Grab a book, read a book, apply your oils, and just get ready to have a deep and restful sleep. Spend some time in nature and doing what you love to do as well. We love to go on bushwalks. I was just saying to Amy before, the cliche Mount Coolum, Marcoola parents or family, out on our bikes and just enjoying being outside. And this is a really good way to just de-stress and detox, get the blood pumping, move the body, breathe in some fresh air. It's a great tool. And I've got a picture of one of my favorite oils as of late, Adaptive. And this really helped me um, through this time that we've just experienced in being stuck in New South Wales, not able to cross the border to get home, and living in close quarters. I was getting really frustrated because I couldn't work. I'm really passionate about what I do, and I didn't have my office space. I didn't have a car, and I didn't have a lot of the comforts that I have at home. A beach just down the road that I can go surf and just de-stress and download. But Adaptive and taking the soft gels, which are actually only available from the US, diffusing the Adaptive blend as well at night and using the roller along with Copaiba was really helpful for me. Oh, thank you, darling. And Indy's just come and given me the Adaptive blend because we've been diffusing that, haven't we, sweetie? Yeah. Thank you, sweetie. Um, so this has been so supportive for us, and it was supportive when we moved up. Thank you, darling. Thank you, sweetie. Thank you. Um, it was really helpful for us when we moved up to Mount Coolum from New South Wales. That was just a whirlwind for us. We managed to get our house ready to sell, and that involved, polishing floorboards and painting and all that sort of stuff, and shifting the family and buying a house and shifting the family to another state in the matter of, I think it was a month or a little over that. So it was a pretty intense period. I think it was about 2 months. And we were also using Adaptive heavily through this period. And the way that Adaptive works in the blend, the oils that are in Adaptive, what they do is they help regulate our gamma and our serotonin levels. So these are natural chemicals in our brain that we produce ourselves, but in challenging times, sometimes, because of our thoughts and our environment, we're not producing enough of those chemicals, and then we find ourselves in a depressive or a less than happy and blissful state. So when I was feeling really stressed, really challenged, I would take two capsules of the Adaptive and 2 capsules of the Copaiba soft gels. And the first time I experienced this, close the door just a little bit there. I went from like a hyper stress, just, the world is just against me here and it's too hard, through to just completely calm. And I was washing the dishes. I remember the experience, very, very clearly. And once again, we're in temporary living conditions at Renee's mum and dad's house. And that's when we were moving up to Mount Coolum and going through that challenging period. We got to experience it all again. It was obviously, there was something down on the Central Coast and at Renee's mum and dad's house that was unfinished business, and we had to revisit that. And I think a big part of that lesson was surrendering and just letting go over things that we don't have control over. That's my lesson for that I got out of it. So just moving on to water now. I'm just going to go over this really quickly. Just drink water, because we're mostly water. Our blood is 90% water, and that delivers the oxygen around our body. Like I said, breath's most important thing, and it's essential for digestion and most other critical functions. There's books that have been written about water being used to diagnose, treat, and cure, or help in a big way, chronic health conditions. And the only thing is just drinking water. That's simple, and it's free. The stuff we get out of the tap, maybe that's not the best source of water. We use a Zazen filter, and we also have a 3 cartridge filter system on our water mains that come into our house. So that's just pulling out most of the chlorine and carbon and fluoride and all the other fun stuff that they chuck in water just to make us thrive, right? being sarcastic. Get rid of all that crap, strip it all out, but then mineralize your water, and that's what the Zazen is really good at doing. And you got some, you can see that using oils in water is also really beneficial as well. And that's one thing that I use on a daily basis. Is I start every single day after a tongue scrape. Um, I put a couple of drops of lemon in my water, and I use my big 777 ml Hawaiian bottle here. This is my very special bottle that I use. Um, and that's how I start my day, to get the digestive system going, to aid detoxification. The liver loves lemon, and giving it lemon first thing in the morning, it's going to improve our metabolism. It's going to make us feel so much cleaner and clearer in the mind and the body, and it's going to help flush out any toxins as well. So I start every day with lemon, but then throughout the day, I also use wild orange as well. That's got to be my favorite to use in water, and which I have in my water right now. And what that does, especially uh, at emotional level, uh, is really good at detoxifying negative emotions. So clearing out negative emotions. We might be feeling, and this is at a cellular level. We might be feeling a little bit of a slump, a little bit down. Wild orange, it just gets in there, lifts us up, cleans us out, gets us clear, and gets us moving forward. And rather than drinking coffee and energy drinks and stimulants all day long, it also helps with insomnia. So for me, when I first started uh, in this doTERRA adventure, and I eliminated coffee completely. I'm not saying don't ever drink coffee again. It's important to have some breaks, and it's also important to limit the amount of coffee that we drink. For women, it's 1 cup a day. For men, it's 2. For me personally, I feel 1 cup at most is best for me, so I limit it to 1 cup a day. And then I also will have regular breaks at least 2 or 3 times a year, for I have like a month off. Um, so that's my big tip with water. It doesn't have to be boring. You can put some citrus oils in there. It's only going to be beneficial, and it makes it a whole lot more fun and supportive for the body. All right, now we get into the fun stuff, and I'm going to spend probably about 15 minutes in this, our environment space. And it might, feel free to read this quote on the right-hand side here, by Bruce Lipton, who is the founder of epigenetics. And I highly recommend going and reading his book. And especially if you're into science, because he's really, for lack of better words, very science driven, very nerdy in the fact that it's all about the science. But he's also very spiritual as well, because he made these findings and completely defunct the theory around our genes determining our life and our outcome and our health, of which we've been taught for decades now. In more recent findings, and starting from Darwin's theory of survival of the fittest, and creating this competitive world that we're living in. If you're not on top, if you're not coming first, then you're last. A little bit of Ricky Bobby in there for you, Talladega Nights, if you know that reference. But that's not the case. We're not here to compete with one another. We're here to help one another. Maybe a better perspective is elimination of the weakness, or the weakest, elimination of the weakest, which is actually the theory of the original writer of Darwin's theory of evolution. But that was discarded, and we took on this mindset, this belief that it's survival of the fittest, and we're all out to compete against one another. So that's a big paradigm shift that we have the opportunity to take on board now as part of this new way of being and seeing life. Um, and then there's the big part around our environment and our thoughts. So it's not just, when I say our environment, it's not just, no, the house that we live in, or our workplace. It's also our associations, and what's commonly forgotten about in our environment is our thoughts. Um, and that's actually the most powerful tool and realization that we have when it comes to being able to control our environment, or say, let's say, manage or perceive our environment. So we now know that we have the ability to influence our genes through thoughts alone, through our environment. And we can really take the power back in knowing and believing in this. This is the new paradigm. This is the way forward for mankind from this point onwards. And we can use our oils to help bring us back into that rest and repair state, that rest and repair nervous system state, rather than that fight or flight, you know, uh, always on the go, 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 always in the head. Yeah, and we were gifted with our minds. The conscious and subconscious mind is a powerful tool, and we're so thankful for that. But then it's also a big responsibility to learn how to use it to our advantage and not have it run us. So there's a big difference between us using our brain to our advantage, or it using us to its advantage, because it is so powerful. So we really got to make sure that we practice some mindfulness and some meditation, and we disconnect from thought. And some people think, meditation, it's only a spiritual practice, but it can be as simple as just going for a walk and just letting go of thought, connecting to breath and body consciousness, having that focus point, and just giving your brain a rest, especially if you have some thoughts that aren't making you feel good. You might be cycling through something, and as I was using that example, my personal example before, about being stuck in New South Wales, not being able to get home, I was just cycling in my head, I'm stuck, I can't get home, I need to get home. And I couldn't be, santosha, or content, happy in this moment until I got home. And I had to learn to let go of that because it wasn't serving me. So using the oils to calm our nervous system state, you can't go wrong with balance, and a couple of other oils that I'm going to talk about in a minute. But also removing, like we touched on earlier, about the abuse of stimulants. I'm not saying never drink coffee again, but like our relationship with our mind, it's a responsibility, and we don't want to live on coffee. It's hard on the liver, it's hard on the adrenals, and it actually encourages us to be more in our head than in our present state of being. And the same goes with energy drinks. And I've also found personally, and what I'm inviting you to do as well, is to become really aware of how things make you feel that you consume, that you are putting into your environment, your thoughts, your habits. For me, sugar was something that was quite alarming when I really cleaned up my diet, and I started to drink more water, remove alcohol and coffee, and really, have a clean and clear state of mind and being. I noticed that sugar wasn't good for me. I stopped having refined sugars, and once again, some of these things I've reintroduced back into my life, but I know how much that I can bring it back in at a healthy level without feeling the detrimental effects or getting out of balance. So it's really important to tune into that. Now, there's a lot of things that I've mentioned so far. And I think it's also really important to just do one thing, one step at a time. I'm not telling you to go and quit your job, but maybe perhaps it is a good time to look at your associations, the people that you're surrounding yourself with, your career, your diet, the things that you do at a subconscious level. These habits really stop, pause, and start to notice how they affect you and how they make you feel. So, my top tips on just making a start, just getting started, is these two oils here, and just applying balance 2 to 3 drops on the back of the neck and the bottoms of the feet. And look, you don't have to do both. I have balance literally everywhere around my house. I've got it in my office, I've got it at the front door, I've got it on my bedside, got it in the bathroom. So there's no reason why I shouldn't be putting balance on the back of my neck and the bottoms of my feet. Just 2 to 3 drops. It's already diluted. It's safe to apply to your body. And this is an invitation to the space between thought. That's the way I like to look at balance. And then wild orange, 3 to 5 drops in 500 ml plus of water. And you can do this up to 3 times daily, because I do recommend having at least 1.5 liters to 2 liters a day. And include wild orange in there, especially if you're feeling like you're in that somber, dark, depressed state. Wild orange will help you lift out of that state, clear out those negative emotions, and also allow you, or provide a deep and restful sleep, because you haven't been taking those or drinking those stimulating energy drinks and coffee and sugar all day long. You've been having wild orange that's been energizing you, but then it's also really good to get in a deep, restful state. Thank you, sweetie. Thank you. It's been told we're eating dinner now. I will be there in a minute. Thank you, sweetie. There's my little personal assistant there. Cute as a button. So I've mentioned it a couple of times, and I can't accentuate this enough. And I've promised myself to create more time and space to do some meditation, group meditations, and provide that space for you guys to collectively join in on that, and set aside some time to connect and meditate together. And like I said, it doesn't have to be a full-on practice. It can just be letting go of thoughts. Do what makes you happy and do less of what makes you stressed. Simple little tip there. And like I said before, it's just baby steps. That's why tonight I just wanted to talk about balance and wild orange and adaptive, and just keep it really simple, because part of moving through stress and a feeling in a pretty shitty state is regressing, letting go of some things, really simplifying, connecting to breath, drinking water, getting the body moving, getting blood and oxygen circulating around your body. Those are the first steps. Use the oils as a ritual or a catalyst to go into these practices that are going to serve you well and make you thrive and feel amazing. I also wanted to touch on lifelong vitality, because this is a foundation for me. And I've seen countless people, including Renee, when we first started out, especially with her irritable bowel syndrome, it really calmed down her inflammation in the gut. We've got Jody joining us. So lifelong vitality, bringing that in as a foundation is only going to help the oils work better. And taking this on a daily basis, it does feel like you're taking a lot of tablets to begin with. 2 tablets in the morning, 2 tablets at night of each. So that's a total of 12 tablets a day. And I have heard people say, oh, like it feels like I'm rattling after taking this many tablets. So you can start on 1 of each, morning and night. So that brings it down to 6. It's a half dose. That's how we actually started. And it's actually a really good way to start to integrate and ease into this powerful vitality pack. So it's going to help with energy, immunity, skin, hair, stronger nails. It's going to fill the gaps in your diet and help you feel and look younger for longer. So who doesn't want that? That's I can't say enough good stuff about the lifelong vitality. Yes, as we all want that indeed, along with our frankincense and lavender, our daily facial routine. And not only that, you get a 30-day money back guarantee. So you really don't have anything to lose with the lifelong vitality. Just give it a go. And for those people who don't have a wholesale account, you can start with the lifelong vitality, or you can start with some of the more popular kits like these two kits, which are my two favorites, Home Essentials kit and the Family Essentials kit. And these two kits have 10 of our favorite oils, the most widely used oils in the doTERRA range, the most popular oils. And they are able to combat just about every health concern that the average family comes into contact with. So these are my two favorite ways to get started. And when you get these kits, you actually get access to wholesale price oils. So part of the cost of the kit, they waive the $35 wholesale fee, and you get 25% off for a year. Now, if you want to renew and continue to get 25% off, then it's $25 each year after that. And you get a free peppermint, which is actually worth more than $25, which is pretty cool. Now, on top of having a wholesale account, I recommend doing or participating in the loyalty rewards program. So this is a monthly order, and you can think of it like a frequent flyer program. So when you start to take full responsibility of your health, and what Renee and I did when we first started, we had private health insurance. We started to be proactive about our health. We took responsibility of our health. We were no longer working ourselves to the bone. We've been more aware of our emotional health, our physical health, and using oils as a powerful tool to stay in a healthy state. And we reinvested our money, that money that we're putting into private health insurance, into ourselves. So this is it's also called the lifestyle replacement program, amongst many things. So it's the most intelligent way to get your oils. You can earn up to 30% back in free products. You get your shipping costs redeemed or given back to you. And there's a whole bunch of other perks like free products of the month and things like that. So really highly recommend not only wholesale account, but the loyalty rewards program. And you can start and stop that as you choose. So the best place to get started is with those kits that I was showing you before. You get your wholesale account, and when you're ready to go on the lifestyle replacement program, you can go on that and start to get more free product and perks than you could imagine with your wholesale account. These are the two kits that I recommend. Once again, difference between them is the Home Essentials is 15 mil in size. The only one that's 5 is the ice blue you can see on the end, that little one, looking like Danny DeVito in Twins. And the Family Essentials kit, which are 5 mil in size. So you're getting about 80 drops in 5 mil, 280 drops in a 15 mil. Exactly the same oils. You get a Diffuse and Home Essentials kit. You get Smart and Sassy in the Family Essentials kit. Home Essentials is my favorite because you save $130. And then Smart and Sassy, the Family Essentials kit I also love as well, because maybe you're not ready to invest $330 into your health, and that's okay. Money might be a little bit tight. You might want to dip your toes in. I suggest that kit. There's other kits as well. I'm not going to go into them. This is another favorite of mine, the Nature Solutions kit. And yeah, Jody's just said both of those kits now come with FCO, which is great because we need FCO when we're using the oils topically. And I think the prices have actually changed a little bit. So From memory, I think the Family Essentials or the Home Essentials kit, they're $8 more expensive. Correct me if I'm wrong, Jody. Happy for you to send that publicly out to everyone or to me privately. But this is another great kit here, the Nature Solutions kit. We started on the oil sharing kit, which I like to call the Entrepreneur's Kit. So there are so many ways to get started, and those kits are definitely the best way to get started. So hopefully you're feeling that you can take the power back now. You no longer have to feel like you're at the mercy of what others are prescribing to you. You can tune into how you feel and how your body will best respond, or what your body needs in any given situation. Taking the power back by being aware of your emotional state of being and knowing what to do to manage that, using the oils, using breath practice, water, moving the body. It's all very, very simple. We don't have to resort to pharmaceuticals and fall into that chronic health condition in 99% of cases. So if you want to get started, I recommend heading to our website, pureoils.com.au, and you can either click on join in the top left corner. If you have more questions that you want to ask, click the connect button. You can flick me an email. You can also contact me on Facebook, Byron Twilley. Don't think there's many of them. Contact me there. Or if you have any questions, please feel free to add them into the chat, and I will answer them as we finish off our presentation now. So our last couple of things I just wanted to touch on as we come to a close. For anybody who is new to doTERRA, and I promised you guys, I posted this in our event. If you're new to doTERRA and you're here tonight and you haven't tried Balance, then go to this link here. So you just write it down, or you can type it into your browser right now, bit.ly/free balance offer. And I will send you a free 5 ml balance, so you can start using that and getting the benefits, finding the space between thought and changing that knee-jerk reaction that we might have in given situations and responding with stress. Now, the other thing that I also promised, and it looks like I've forgot to add it to my slideshow here, is anybody who gets started tonight, I'm going to give you a free bottle of Copaiba soft gels. So I think I'm back on, you can see my face now, and I've got the Copaiba soft gels here. So I'd love to give this to anybody who is not only in attendance tonight, but also is looking at getting started by the end of the month. So that's this Saturday, Halloween, when we traditionally might be scoffing down lollies, maybe looking at reinvesting that into our health. And I'm going to chuck in a Copaiba soft gels. So if you're interested in that, please reach out. And that's the same that goes for you guys that are in attendance this evening. If you have people that are interested in this offer, Robin and Amy, Tracy, and I'm sorry, I'm not sure who this the third or fourth person is on the call. If you have other people that would be interested in this and would benefit from not just the information shared tonight, the oils, and are keen to get started, then I'm happy to gift them a bottle of Copaiba soft gels as well. So if you guys have any questions at all, please fire away. Otherwise, I'm going to let you go and have dinner and do what you need to do.
Byron, can I ask, what did you say? The 15 mil has got 280 drops, and how many drops did the 5 mil have?
80.
80. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And that's a roundabout number, but
Yeah.
between 80. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. There's also the viscosity and the rate that it drops out. We just 80's a safe number.
I do have one more question. I don't know if you want me to ask it here or send it to you by email. My husband is starting since 2 days ago on the lifelong vitality pack. So this is end of day 2, or day 3. Sorry. Anyway, doesn't matter. But he has formed really big round circles underneath his armpits. Could that be toxins coming out of the system? Is his body just adapting all the goodness?
Yes, I have seen and experienced a detoxification effect from the lifelong vitality, and it can come in the form of rashes and a number of different representations. Perhaps what I would recommend that he does is just drop down to half dose.
He's already doing it. He's already
just doing half dose.
One in the morning, one in the evening of both the jazz, of 3 the jazz. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And look, if it becomes too much, there's no harm in dropping down to quarter dose and just taking, one of each in the morning and until he's able to integrate it into his body.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. All right. That's all I had.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for attending tonight. And if there's any further questions that you have, then please flick me an email, byron@pureoils.com.au. Get in contact with me on Facebook. I'm back. And looking forward to doing more of these sessions with you all.
Thanks, Byron.
Thanks, Boz.
Thanks, Robin. Thanks, Amy.
Bye.
Thanks, Tracy. Have a nice night.
You too. See ya.
Bye.